Star Wars Celebration is around the corner. So, we're going to have some announcements. I think they'll announce the next standalone film after Han Solo.
Yeah.
I think they're going to announce a re-release of the unaltered versions of the original films.
Nah, I don't
Oh,
think
don't
so.
discount it.
No, 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 no.
No, why
I don't
not?
think that's going to happen.
It's the 40th
It's too hard for
anniversary.
it to happen.
Well, it's the
Uh,
40th anniversary.
it is the 40th anniversary,
Who's,
but remember that Fox owns A New Hope.
yeah, it's
Um,
all, unless Disney could buy the rights, which I'm sure they can.
yeah, and well, the thing is too, that's a major cash cow, right? So
It is. It is.
there'd have to be some sort of working between the studios to get that to
Fitty
happen.
fitty. But
And the other thing too is that the original negatives for A New Hope were destroyed when they were working
yeah,
on
that's true. When they were doing the
when they
special
were
editions.
working on well, I mean, look, it's possible. Look at Harmy's specialized edition. I mean, it's possible to do it, right? It's
Well,
possible to put it together. However, I don't think that Disney slash Fox or whatever will put the love, care, and attention into like the getting the colorization right,
yeah,
getting all that sort of thing, like Harmy's done
yeah,
with his
true.
version of it.
And it took a
And the
while
other
to
thing
do
is too,
that.
and I mentioned this today on Facebook on a post, was that look, it's a funny thing. People want the original unaltered trilogy,
Yeah,
right? But to have it as it was released um, is great. But people are going to want it pristine, like the Blu-ray quality, right? Which is great, which is
yeah.
fine. They're going to want 7.1 sound. They're going to want this, but that's not
Nah,
how it was originally released.
mono
You know, they're not
2.0.
they're not going to get a magnetic six-track audio.
No,
You
no,
know,
not at all.
but then having said that too, I mean, you look at like the Bond films and stuff like
Oh
that. You know,
yeah,
they've never brought out updated versions of those. The
no,
versions we've got have always been the original version,
that's
but
right.
they've remastered them and
Yeah,
5.1, 7.1, cleaned them all up,
yeah,
and they look fantastic. But
they
Star
do.
Wars seems to be a different sort of a beast,
Mm.
um, in that way. Yeah, I don't know. Look, I wish and I
It'd be
hope
nice. I just
that
got
it
the
does
feeling there
happen.
could be
Yeah, it does.
something. I don't know.
It does happen, but yeah, I know. I'll believe it when I see it. Put it that way.
But look,
I'm always like that. I'll believe it when I see it, mate.
but with Star Wars and Star Wars conventions, it's a big thing and celebration. Like I have to say, I've been fortunate to go to one. But this one, of course, it's going to be bigger and better. The opening day is going to be the 40th anniversary panel, and then
Yeah.
the next day we're going to have the Last Jedi. So we're not going to
I'm
get.
so excited.
Oh no, we're going to get the trailer, but I think they've done this right. I know a few people were kicking up a bit of a stink about that the 40th the opening ceremony wasn't the Last Jedi panel, which was like in Anaheim. The opening ceremony was the Force Awakens, so
Yeah.
they nailed that on the head. The first thing of the day. Some people have said, "Oh my guys," yeah. I think this is where some things are going to drop. Yes, they're going to reminisce, like we did last week on our podcast. We talked about the film and how we loved A New Hope and what it meant to us and certain things and all that. They're going to do that, but I think there's going to be some major announcements in that 40th anniversary panel that are going to directly relate to Star Wars as it is in that future.
Yeah.
And we're going to get that the very next day with The Last Jedi, and of course the future filmmakers panel, which is always held on the last day, which is where I think they'll showcase the last standalone film or the future slate for future Star Wars films. So yeah, it's going to be, I think all these panels are actually going to drop some quite big things, and that's the beauty of these conventions. We don't get them in Australia though. That's the sad thing.
Well, I mean, we don't have the population for it. I mean, the thing. Well, they did have a celebration in Japan. I remember.
Yes. Still
Well,
too
and the
far
thing is, too,
away.
it's a bit silly not to. I mean, I could see a decent one in Sydney, right? Because we had 3 movies filmed there as well.
Yes.
And
Two.
a lot of the prequel actors are here
Yeah.
still, so it makes sense to do one in Australia.
Yeah.
I know that Anthony Daniels was pushing for one
He was.
in Australia,
He was.
as well. So I got a feeling it's going to happen one day. But
Look, I
yes,
hope.
it would be nice. The thing is, too, you look at what they do there, as far as have like those massive props and walkers, and that's a big thing to get all that sort of stuff
That
over
is.
here.
That is.
So yeah, and the thing is, so what would ticket price? Because you're not going to get nowhere near as many people here in Australia, even people coming from overseas that you're going to get in like Orlando or
Yeah.
London. So what are ticket prices going to be? Was it going to cost you like
Yeah.
$95 to walk in the door? So, yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I'm all hopeful that one day that'll happen, but I got a feeling that if we want to go to that again, we're going to have to go and get on a plane and go
Yeah.
overseas.
Oh, look,
So,
I think, yeah, look, I think Sydney was probably be the best place to do it. Of course, being a Brisbane boy, I'd like to see it at the Brisbane Convention Centre. I think it's big enough to house it. But yeah, look, ticket prices, yeah, look, it was $150 for a 4-day pass. I would say
that's not too bad.
which isn't too bad. I think, and that got me in. It could get me into a panel if I queued. You know what I
Queue
mean?
and
So
queue and
and
queue
queue
and
and
queue.
queue and queue and queue because that was my favorite thing was to queue.
Oh, I bet it
Um,
was.
you know,
Oh yeah, Jack with you as well. So
I
that would have
did.
been even more
Oh, it was
interesting.
no different than the conventions I've been here in Australia.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I'd say we'd probably be looking at 200 for a 4-day pass out here and that. But look, I think it needs to happen. I think a Star Wars Celebration needs to come to Australia. I would be looking at the last standalone film after Episode 9. That would be when I would do it, which is what, in, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years. I would like to see one out here for that, and of course, then we would be fortunate enough to be present for an announcement of a new trilogy or anything of that sort, if that hadn't been announced yet, and all that sort of stuff. Or I think we can. We've got, like I say, as you say, we've got the prequel actors out here that
Yeah.
were in those films. I'm sure some of the bigwigs would fly out here. Not everyone, but it would be nice. But yes, Japan's had one. And the UK's had them.
Germany, yeah, Germany,
Germany and the
yeah.
UK. So they've all had a dip, but yeah, unfortunately, us, we're in the middle of the frickin' ocean. It costs a fortune to get to us. Look, hopefully by then the US dollar will be stellar and
Uh,
the Australian dollar will be terrible, and it'll be cheaper for you guys to come over. Something like that. We'll make it happen. And we'll rock the stock exchange so we can get a Star Wars Celebration out here. And just as you get here, we'll spike that dollar weight back up for us, so then it's great for us again. So we'll try
yeah.
something. But
Well,
look,
that's going to happen. Hey, just quickly going back to the 40th anniversary panel on the Friday.
yep.
Yeah. What do you bet that Mr. Lucas is going to make an appearance at that
I
one?
hope so.
I reckon you will.
Look, it's the 40th anniversary. It's his baby. Like, I
Yeah.
know it's financially, legally signed, not his, but it is his. He was the guy who started it all. If George Lucas isn't at Star Wars Celebration, I'll eat one of my Star Wars figures on the next video.
Oh yeah.
Um,
That'll get some hits.
maybe one of the Bendums, because that'll be a bit rubbery, So
It'll go down a bit easier.
But look, George will make an appearance. It'd be stupid if he didn't. And I think he'll come out. It'll be more that talk of, what were your memories? What was it like writing that script? We're going to get those stories that we may have heard before, but some people haven't. And I think, too, they may get George to announce something.
Yeah.
I honestly think, because he's still...
I'm taking over the reins again.
I'm back. Guess what? I'm directing a Star Wars film. Colin Trevor is out, and I'm doing 9. And guess who's back? Jar Jar's back. He's not juggling on the streets of Naboo anymore. He's back. He's in charge.
My nephew in Perth sent me a funny little picture. Have you seen that Last Jedi poster with
Jar Jar on it? Yes.
It's brilliant, isn't it? Yeah, I laughed when he sent me that.
It was so good. I always thought that's classic. But yeah, look, I think George will be there. Of course, we're going to see the cast of The Last Jedi. I think it's going to be tough as well. I think they'll do a tribute to Carrie.
Yeah, I know they will.
It's going to be very bittersweet. This won't be the last time that's going to happen. Of course, when The Last Jedi is released, I think it's going to really hit home on the red carpet on that night.
Not a dry eye.
No, I think every time she appeared... Look, I'll be honest, I watched The Force Awakens yesterday, and every time she appeared on screen, I just cried. It just still hitting me to this very day, and I think there's going to be a very exciting feel about this celebration, but I think there's also going to be some sadness, some quiet times. I know that a few podcasters over in America have organized some charity events and tribute events on the night. I think Toshi Station podcast have organized something. So anyone out there, please head over to their site. I think there's links on there. It's Moonlight something. I do apologize to the guys at Toshi Station for getting that wrong, but they've organized a tribute night for her, and I think that's great. Everyone needs to go and support these guys,
awesome.
and everything like that. So, there's going to be those memories, and people can sit back, have a few drinks, and remember those great times. And that's the wonderful thing about Star Wars and community. And I think that's, once again, I'm going back to, that's why we need something out here. We have our conventions out here in Australia. We have our Oz Comic Con, we have our Supernova, and they get some fantastic numbers at those events. But of course, this would be Star Wars, but I think if it was a one-off thing that we got, I think we would see major crowds coming out. I think we get a lot of, there are Star Wars fans coming out of the woodwork now. We got new generations being brought in with families. I remember going to a Star Wars convention many, 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 many years ago at a university here where I live.
And I think I was there.
And I was a very young and mad. And Jeremy Bullock was there, and I got him to sign my Empire Strikes Back special edition theatrical poster. And unfortunately, my first convention, I didn't understand that you had to pay for an autograph. And I had brought a jar, and I'm not kidding, of 5-cent pieces. And I paid. I paid.
So that was you. I heard that story.
I paid Jeremy Bullock in 5-cent and 10-cent pieces.
Oh, he was such a lovely, gracious man too.
He was so nice, but the look on his face was like, "This kid's got to be kidding me."
I know. It was so cool, just hanging out with him and just the amount of people that were there. He was just entertaining, and he was just just a regular bloke just walking around and mixing with everybody. And he had a really good. I got some photos and stuff of that weekend, and I remember. And he's just always smiling every photograph. But and he was genuine too. He wasn't put on. He was he's just a beautiful man.
He was. But in Australia we haven't had many Star Wars conventions. Of course, the Star Wars Appreciation Society, Star Walking Inc. They've had a few Force events and all that sort of stuff. And of course, for those who've watched the Fandom Menace fan documentary, I think it was Force 3 was showing. Yeah, Force 3, and of course they had
Force. Yes, it was.
Force 3.
I went to Force 4, and so it would have been Force 3.
Yeah, Force 3, and they had huge crowds there, and they had Hugh Corsi. They had Hugh Corsi, who was Captain Panaka from Episode 1, and that was not long after the Phantom Menace had just come out. So, and they had major crowds and all that sort of stuff. And once again, being isolated in Brisbane, I didn't know about these things, and I never got to go to one. So I'm hoping that one day the guys will get one going. There is a Force 5 event apparently in the works. We don't know. Yep. We're hoping. We got fingers crossed. But fingers crossed. So we're hoping that those things will happen. But I feel we need that this year in Australia, and I'm calling all my Australian listeners out there, or even our international ones. We want to try and do something to celebrate the 40th anniversary of Star Wars.
Rally the troops.
We need to rally the troops. So anyone out there that has an amazing idea that how Australians can celebrate the 40th anniversary, and don't say hop on a plane and go to Orlando, because it ain't cheap. But if it's something that doesn't require $10,000, we're set, So we want to hear ideas. If you want to send us a comment on our posts or anything like that, it would be amazing, because we want to do something special for the 40th anniversary, and we want to get as many Star Wars fans together to do it. So if anyone's interested, contact us. We'll try and organise something, and hopefully we can come up with something, which would be amazing. It's got
to happen.
I've got my thinking cap on. I'm trying to think. I've gone through my little black book. I thought George was at the top of my list, but he's a busy man apparently, so George can't come. But I'm slowly working down the Rolodex, so hopefully Harrison loves to fly, so he said, look, he could make a low pass over any event we want, and he'll stick his head out and say hello. But yeah, other than that, everyone else is a bit recluse at the moment because they're
couldn't afford me, kid.
He couldn't afford me, kid. $10,000 advance. 10,000. I could almost get 2 celebrities for that.
That's it.
That's it. So yeah, but look, we want some ideas. But look, I had some wonderful memories with regards to that convention out at University of Queensland. So and once again, I felt accepted and all that. And it's funny that the next time I felt that was at Star Wars Celebration with nearly 10,000
4 million times of people.
4 million times of people. So, but look, I'm not concerned that if we held a celebration in Australia, we couldn't get a crowd. I think we definitely could get a crowd. It's just
somebody's got to, put up the Benjamins and just take the risk and just throw caution to the wind and say, look, this, it's more important than the money that we're going to make that something like this happens. So,
well, I'd love to know how much it costs to put on, because if I won 20. It'd be millions of dollars. I'm not stupid. But look, it's something, I guess, between
pocket change for the mouse house.
You got the government, tourism, everyone saying, hey, look, we'll chip in $1 million, this will chip in $1 million or $500,000 or whatever. This is how much we're willing to put up, councils and all that, and then the rest would have to be paid by Lucasfilm and that. But look, I'll put it out there once again. If it ever happens and I win like $20 or $30 million, I'll put $10 million down, and if that's what it costs, I'll pay for the thing to bloody happen, because we need to have it out here. Yes, we filmed episodes 2 and 3 out here. It's time for Australian love. Let's get some Oceania love. We've had it in Japan. It's time for the place where the last trilogy ended, and that's here. So let's bring it to Australia.